No, way they're wrong anyways. Welcome back, guys. So on the block, we're quickly going to go into the Golden State series and OKC. So OKC steals game one, and Westbrook went off in that game. He really showed his athleticism as usual. And Golden State came back with a blowout in game two. So we're all tied up heading back to OKC. How do you guys think that this series ends up panning out?
To me, again, it's going to be a home court series. I feel that Golden State's going to win game three, and then OKC will take game four. Again, just like we discussed earlier on, it's a simple match, a factor of how the two superstars play for OKC and how Golden State deals with them. And to me, again, Billy Donovan's done a good job in game one. He went big. That tends to give Golden State some problems. And to me, it'll be a back and forth series based on home court. And to me, it's going to be Golden State winning it in 7. But to me, I don't think it goes anything less than 7. And again, it's going to be entertaining. I think both teams are excellent teams. Would it surprise me if OKC beats them in the end? Not totally. I mean, it wouldn't be a shock of all shocks. But I think Golden State will eventually play much more like they played in game 2. And they'll end up winning in 7, but I think home court's going to be play a big factor in this in the end.
Well, the thing is, Golden State lost the home court advantage now, right? They're going to have to steal the game.
Which means, that's where I figured they'll get at least 1 out of 2 in OKC.
Golden State, I love the way Westbrook plays. I know that when we talked before, you guys felt it was a Durant thing that needed to go off. I was always worried because that's my guy, that he's the issue. If he does that 28-point triple-double type of mentality and just keeps attacking, which opens up threes for Durant.
Young waiters.
Exactly. So I think it's up to him. I think the way that the Golden State plays, because they're so used to winning all year, and even when they're losing, they know just a couple of threes away from getting back in. They're always I'm not as in not trying, but they always almost look like a cruise control. I think they need to get out of that because they need to get rid of. I think they're going to win in 6. But I think they need to really seriously think of act like do or die, because they cannot take this to 6 and have Cleveland, who's going to sweep Toronto, sitting there waiting rested, right? You've got to get rid of them now.
That one nice shot.
Always throwing jabs in that.
The one thing that's been funny, and I don't know if it's like coincidence, but it seems that, especially within the San Antonio series and this series, OKC always seems to get like the benefit of the doubt on the referee's call at the end of the game. The first game, that was a definite travel on Westbrook, and they didn't do anything about that. That's 3 games at least that the referees, to me, have helped OKC win the game. And again, Golden State's a really good 3-point shooting team. You don't know if they're going to hit it or not. But the one thing I do want to discuss, the NBA keeps coming out, and this is the only league that does this, and then they do like a little 2-minute thing where, the referees like screwed up here, the referees screwed up there. To me, you're throwing the refs under the bus in that, and and everyone can see it's a travel, or not. But I don't know, that's a weird thing that they're doing, and I just wanted to bring that point up because, again, I don't know what exactly they're doing. To me, it's showing up the referees and embarrassing the referees at the end of the day.
I think they have to give them accountability because a lot of players for years, not just now, they've been asking for refs to get fines.
But what's the accountability there? It's just embarrassing them in the media, and they're not getting fined, they're not getting replaced.
No, they're not getting anything. No, maybe what the thing is, maybe they're forced to pay better attention because they're now, their face or their name is now going to be in the limelight. They're saying, hey, this guy's been screwing up calls. So maybe the ref at that point says, okay, you know what, I got to do my job a little bit better because I'm embarrassing myself.
But to me, you're putting them under even more pressure, and then one guy doesn't want to blow the call. He looks at the other guy and he's like, "Oh man, you do it," and then to me it makes it worse.
To me, it's a bit easier. I was gonna say only because it's not like it's not subjective stuff where it's like, is that a foul or is it not? If you're traveling, it's a clear call. It's not a judgment call, and you're right there watching him. You see his foot drag, and then how do you miss that? Like as a ref, you're not looking at the hands. Most of the time, you're looking at feet. Right? You're looking at travel and all that stuff. It's easy stuff. And a blatant Dion Waiters foul.
To me, those kind of things, they're not robots, they're not perfect. So there's certain situations where I'll see a ref acting crazy the entire game, but certain calls, for example, like if a guy has 4 fouls, he reaches in, gets that one count, he's like, what was I thinking? Like, people have brain farts. So even players have brain farts. Am I wrong?
It's true, okay, but a brain fart and missing a blatant offensive foul is kind of crazy.
I watched that clearly in slow-mo. Right when Dion Waiters did it, the ref that was beside him looked off at another player. I'm telling you, I watched that 100 times. Right before Dion Waiters did that, he looked off for some reason at somebody that was crossing over.
He wasn't even doing his job then, because the other 2 refs.
Yeah, you were supposed to keep the 5 count on the inbound.
There we go. Now he'll never make that mistake again. Don't take your eyes off him.
So they have the 3 days off, which we said was kind of really weird because the Raptors have been playing every other day. Does this work for any team's advantage or both teams really?
Well, I mean, we mentioned off camera that it might help Steph Curry recover a little bit, but to me, it also is a little bit detrimental because Golden State had a lot of momentum after Game 2, after the blowout. You want to try to keep that going. The 3 days off might throw you off a little bit. I don't think it works. I think Steph's fine. I think he's I think it's gonna bother him the rest of the postseason. I think Hassan Whiteside had a similar injury. He's still like posting pictures up saying his knee's all shot up and whatever. So Steph's probably not 100%. To me, that'll probably go into that Cleveland series afterwards because I don't think if Steph's not 100%, I definitely don't think they have a chance. But to me, I don't think it goes into anybody's advantage. I think OKC comes out, with their home crowd going, and to me, they just pretty much have to think what happened in that first San Antonio game where they got blown out and they recovered and did the same thing.
Yeah, I agree. And don't fight anything.
I have a feeling that OKC's been one of the best home teams behind the Spurs and Warriors, who have had ridiculous home seasons. But OKC at home has been pretty much unbeatable these playoffs, and even towards the end of the regular season. I have a feeling Golden State's going to win both these games, and then maybe put Golden State on the brink there, going back to the Oracle.
Then everyone will be worried again. That's how I feel. Like no one's really feared them because because Cleveland's been smashing every team and doing historic threes and everything like that. I think OKC, Golden State, they should be.
With some sense of urgency.
Yes, they have to. They can't act like this is a joke. They have to really beat up on this team. Have people know don't overlook us. Have Cleveland don't think it's going to be a joke and think you're going to be taking these pictures and joking around.
See, I don't know. I can't really see that because
you think it's a split, or you think
I think it's a split just based on the fact that if you look at how they played them in the regular season, if it wasn't for that game, which I think still is the best game I saw in the regular season, which was that Saturday night game that OKC had against Golden State, it took a remarkable comeback in the fourth, and Steph Curry was just absolutely amazing, and again Durant and Westbrook got cold. I just don't see them beating them both times at home. I think that's asking a lot. I think, again, to me, it'll be a split. Golden State wins.
I don't think it's asking a lot because if you would have said, how does this series go before it started, maybe most people say it goes to 7, Golden State wins, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, you would assume that everybody wins their home games.
Well, no. So you have Golden State winning there too in Oklahoma.
Would you?
I was figuring that they'd split. Golden State wins game 5. Well, OKC wins game 6. And then it goes back to 7.
If I asked you before the series started, would you have bet money that Golden State loses one of their home games of the first 2? Probably not.
You know what? I depend the way that the Thunder finished off the Spurs. Probably it's a possibility. I mean, like I said, to me, it isn't. Golden State hasn't hit their stride yet. I think they're getting there, but they're still. That's why again, like we mentioned, I think Cleveland's right here. I think Golden State's right about here in terms of how they're playing in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. When Golden State hits their stride, and then I think it'll equal out. I mean, who knows if the Cavaliers fall off a little bit, but to me, the Golden State isn't at that peak right now. It could be fatigue, like you mentioned. Could be some other things, but to me, they're both. Oklahoma City still has a lot to play for, and I think I just can't see them drop both because I think Westbrook's gonna have one of those games. Like you mentioned, he's gonna have one of those games, and I think they'll split it.
I want them to win the 2, and I think they should, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. For example, if OKC were to beat Golden State twice at home, it'd be like a big shock to me. Sure. Like it'd be a shock. But if Golden State were to win both in OKC, I wouldn't be shocked. Like I would.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think since that shock factor isn't there, I think it's not like. Yeah, exactly. So I think they need to really.
So that'd be a 3 straight wins.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Not the way the Thunder have been playing. I don't know, kind of tough. But again, we'll see what happens.
If they can do it, then you know what they're going to do to Cleveland.
Okay, let's say that OKC manages to win this series. They have a shot against Cleveland.
The way that Cleveland's playing now.
Yeah, the way Golden State and OKC really. Can you say that one team is playing much better than the other?
Either or, like you can't say that Cleveland's gonna run over either Golden State or because that's not gonna happen.
No.
To me, it's a factor that it'll be like a very competitive series. It'll be just as competitive as Golden State, Oklahoma City. It won't be a Raptors, Cleveland. It won't be to me, it won't even really be an Oklahoma City, San Antonio because I don't think that was that competitive after the first game, to be honest. It'll be more of a very competitive one that I think like whoever plays Cleveland will probably be a 7-game series either way.
What about?
I think it would go exactly the way it went when OKC played Miami. I think they won one game that time, even though the rest messed up when Durant had the layup at the end of the game and he got fouled and they came out with his costume anyway. I don't mean destroys in points in the game. I just mean series wise. I think OKC win one game, maybe. 2 games. They win 2 games.
Because again, I think it would depend. I guess because you probably who'd match up on Westbrook. I think because LeBron will probably take over the assignment usually with Westbrook.
They have to put a guard on him. I don't
Put a guard.
You have to put a guard. It doesn't matter who you put.
Because again, if you put a guard
Maybe J.R.
on,
Smith.
oh, I think Westbrook.
And then
He can't anybody, right? But J.R. Smith's been playing good defense. I'm just saying, like, who do they have to guard him? I don't know. It's not Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, and then I guess who'd you
Maybe
play?
J.R.
Who'd you
Shumpert.
play
Oh, maybe Shumpert.
Waiters would have to show up big time. They would have to play the way that they played in that last game of San Antonio.
Yeah.
To have
And
everybody
in
Waiters would have a chip on
Robertson.
his shoulder because he was drafted by Cleveland originally, right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
I don't know if that's what
Forgot
they help him.
about that.
This came to me as you guys were talking, and it's crazy to say, but let's just say that the Raptors get swept, which is a good possibility.
Yeah.
And let's say OKC wins, but really if either team wins, more likely with OKC. What about if Cleveland goes into the finals and they sweep the finals? Just think that it happens though. Or is that the most impressive thing to happen in the basketball playoffs?
Oh sure.
To
If you go 16-0
over anything Jordan's done anybody, right?
Oh, I have to.
Over anything that Jordan's done in a playoffs, in a
as a team
playoff.
performance.
Yeah,
it
as a
has
team
to be.
performance, it has to be,
16-0 hasn't been done. That's crazy.
The people that Jordan had to go through is not the same.
I know, but I'm not saying that. I'm just saying.
Record-wise, yes.
If you win 16 straight games in the playoffs,
Record-wise, yes.
And you can argue that, well, again, Jordan beat some pretty good teams in the finals. If they were to beat like Golden State like after that 73 win season and sweep them, that'd be insane. Because I don't think Jordan's faced anybody in the finals that were at that kind of level.
And
Who's level?
At the Golden State level. No.
Oh, you mean if Cleveland
were to sweep them, there's no way.
Now we're talking fairy tales now. We're talking all fairy tales. If they were to do that, yes.
It's not a fairy tale.
You think Cleveland can sweep Golden State in the finals?
I'm just saying.
I don't think they can.
Okay, if they win in 5. If Golden State wins one home game.
No, if we're going to that sweep, then yes, better than Jordan's teams, yes. If that were to happen.
Where does LeBron go in the greatest of all time if he sweeps a playoff?
Well, see, to me, you guys don't really like again, you're not a huge
We're not LeBron rivals.
At the end of the day, to me, out of all of the players that I've seen in the league since I've watched the league when I was young, minus Jordan, and I could probably say probably Kobe as well. He's up there at being like top 3 players because he's just a physical specimen, man. The man can do everything.
That's not true.
What can he do?
He
can rebound.
He's not a good shooter. He's not a good shooter.
He's a good shooter. He's not a great shooter.
No, he's not a good shooter. He can hit, but like if he's you have to remember he's been playing basketball his whole life. Yeah. You go to practice, you have one guy passing the ball, taking jump shots every day. Of course, I expect you to get hot a game where you're hot, but he cannot shoot. Even Atlanta had the nerve to play a
off
of him like he was Rondo. His shot isn't.
But he made nice by doing that.
No, because everyone got hot. That's why it didn't work. Everyone got hot.
That's one thing.
That smug look when he hit that 3 when they did that, he's like, yeah, they're not covering me. I'm taking the shot.
Yeah, but that was one of those things where it's like, okay, look, I got hot at that second. You left me open. I'm the greatest player of this generation. I'm gonna hit a shot anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like it worked in his favor.
How many times did he pass off though when they did that to him? If that was Jordan, he would have let it fly. Jordan's not a 3-point shooter, but he would let it fly and hit
with
shots.
no conscience.
Yeah, and Magic, and I guess there's a lot of guys. If we're talking if we're talking about physical dominance, I think he's second to Shaq. Physical dominance, what he could do, but if we're talking skill level, where it means you're going one way, someone gets in your way, and you do something, you don't go through them, which is 50% of the times he's charging and not getting called for it. I mean, you adjust and work, man, what can I do with this guy?
Like a Euro step
it's something.
Crossover.
He's not. We're talking skill, shot,
Wade's got better footwork
that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's almost like saying Emmitt Smith is better than Barry Sanders, which is not the truth. He had blocking and he had this thing. It's completely different.
Yeah, but like,
skill. If we're talking skill, he's not top 3. Kobe is a joke better than him. Jordan, we're not going to get into.
Realistically, but the stuff that he could do, Kobe couldn't do.
But the things that he could do that Kobe couldn't do would only involve power and running through. If you're talking post, Kobe had better post moves than LeBron James.
To me, I don't know. Like to me, he's a better defender than Kobe was for sure. No, not in your opinion. I definitely
guarding his own position though. LeBron has the advantage of being able to
rebounding, blocks, pretty much. And again, like Kobe wasn't that good of a passer of the ball in terms of assist-wise, even in his heyday.
Because he chose not to.
He chose not to. And again, LeBron is a complete player. A very, very complete. Well, man, the shooting, I guess you can When he has
If
his
LeBron-
days, yeah.
I think if
Not
LeBron
clutch.
was, if
He's
LeBron
not
was,
clutch.
That's a big
clutch.
thing to be a top
He's
guy.
not clutch.
You are not having the ball in
Not
LeBron's
remember,
hands.
remember the Mr. No fourth quarter? They used to in Miami
Yeah,
when he got
yeah.
there. How he used to pass. There was I think the first finals against the Spurs where like he didn't make a shot in the
Because
fourth
people thought it
quarter.
should go to Wade.
Yeah.
How humiliating is that? You're the MVP and you're supposed to be the best, and everyone's saying it should go to Wade in the fourth because
I
you
know.
can't even finish. I'm not giving that guy top. You can't be top. Even Charles Barkley, who is one of my favorite players, who I even think is. Okay, the only reason I like him more is because people keep forgetting that Charles Barkley was 6'4", and he's out rebounding huge monsters. He's guarding Shaq sometimes. He's 6'4". So the things he was doing, even he was hitting game-winning threes.
Who's 6'4"?
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley's only 6'4".
6'4".
I think he's 6'5". Yeah,
He's
but-
6'4". Him and Dwayne Wade are about the exact same height.
No, he's way bigger.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And he's a monster. So whatever, either way, but I'm saying even he
6'4".
6'4".
He's only like an inch bigger than Norman Powell.
Norman Powell's 6'5".
6'3". I think
Norman Powell's
no,
6'4".
Norman
Anyways, yeah,
Powell's
he's
6'3".
6. I know that Barkley's
They gave
6'4",
him the shot
6'5".
for
Yeah.
game-winning shots, right? They gave it to him for game-winning shots to beat teams. So I'm just saying, to me, to be a top something, it's skill and what you've done. And I'm not giving him the rings because he ran there as a mercenary, as you said, ran there and stole
Chased
some
them.
rings.
Yeah.
So the one in Cleveland would have really helped him. I think he should have just fought it out. And if he won that one in Cleveland, then boy, that would have been something. If he just stayed and people.
What about if not off topic again? We're going off theoreticals right here.
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
block, getting off topic. But what about if early in his career Jordan went to Detroit? That would be the same thing,
Maybe
wouldn't it?
Isaiah and
Wouldn't it?
Amir probably.
If
He'd be
got
playing with
drafted,
Wade and
maybe?
Bosch. No, I'm saying like let's say after his first couple of years and the
when
contract's
he made
over,
them,
he said,
right?
"Oh, you know
Yeah.
what? I don't want to play for them anymore. I don't want to play for Chicago. I want to go to Detroit and chase a
So he
ring."
would never do
Exactly,
that. because of who he is.
exactly,
And that's
right?
the kind of player people chase to
The
be.
one thing about LeBron, like the whole no clutch thing, yeah, there's a proven fact that in terms of game winning shots, he has a really bad
He's not,
percentage.
yeah. He's a bad free throw.
But
shooter.
realistically, a lot of the games where it doesn't really come down to that because they're winning by a lot more than that anyway.
That's
So
why
really
it's like
matters.
he'll cover you. He'll cover your eyes
cover you
because
anyway.
He's stacking his
because
teams.
yeah, his teams are
But
stacked.
in terms of an actual talent, the man was a generational talent. You can't say it
But
wasn't.
how could you go?
Even from high school, like
But how,
the man.
but how
that
can you go
was
with his
crazy.
talent? Yeah, that's true. But how can you go with someone's talent against someone when the guy's stacking his team? I want to see what you can do. How can you bring a team? How can you win a shot? Can you do the impossible like what he did against Detroit that one time in the playoffs when he went crazy? Like if you do that kind of stuff, then it's like, man, this is the guy. But I can't give you the credit when you're.
So if he wins it with this Cleveland team, are you giving him credit or not giving him credit? Because it was
Well,
sort of
he's
the
gonna
same
get credit,
way, right?
he's
Because
gonna
he
get
was
credit
great.
anyways.
I'm not gonna give him full. I'm not. To me, he won it, so I can't say anything. But I'm not giving him that full credit because you ran over there, you came back when
he made the love trade.
Yeah,
The
He
love
made the love
trade,
trade as
yeah.
soon as he
No,
got
but
there.
the only reason he came back to Cleveland is because he saw that they were on the uprise. Kyrie was amazing, all that kind of stuff. You got the number one pick. We can do something. You got rid of him, got love. I don't even know that J.R. Shumpert and the Shumpert trade that they got. That was
fair.
ridiculous. So they just and Moscow that they got for nothing again. And Moscow, well, he's not really doing
Two
well now,
years
but he
first,
was.
yeah.
But he was doing good when he came, and he was a good big man.
Because they
So-
changed their style of play.
Yeah, but that's not fair to me.
But the credit at the end of the day, the man's made the NBA Finals. I don't know how many years in a
But he's
row.
also
That's
been in the
crazy.
East, which is another thing.
No.
Well, he's
I
had
think
some pretty
if
good
LeBron's
teams.
going to the West and
That's
he's
not
playing in the
actually
West
points.
every year, he's not. I don't think he's getting the finals every year. If he's in the
I'm
West.
not even respecting the East because you stacked your team and you lost more than you won. You can't be called a king and the best player in the league and want to be known as the top three of all time and be beside Jordan. Jordan is a winner. You have to be a winner. Magic and these people are winners. Larry Bird, they say, are winners. You can't go to the finals 7 times and win 2. You're losing all the time. And then when you lose, you cry and run back to Cleveland. There's no loyalty. Like, there has to be a part where you lose credibility for things that you do. It can't just be the winning. Yes, he's
It's
killing
like selling
people.
out for more money, I guess, kind of thing, right? It's
This-
like
this-
we'll buy you out. We can't.
When he came back to
competition.
Cleveland, they had just won the championship with Miami, correct?
No, they
They
lost
lost
and
the
he ran
finals
away
to
because they
Spurs.
couldn't
They
beat the
lost to the
Spurs.
Spurs.
They got smoked by the Spurs and he ran to
So
Cleveland.
they won 4 years in the finals. He was there for 4 years in Miami.
Yeah,
right?
Dallas.
So first you lost to Dallas. They won 2 in the middle. One they
OKC,
beat the Spurs.
yeah.
One they beat OKC. Then they lost to the Spurs at the end.
And then he ran to
So
Cleveland.
after the
when he
loss,
saw the hope
after
in
the
him.
loss, he went back to
Yeah.
Cleveland.
So that's his hometown, but he knows he's not a dumb guy. He knows that one ring in Cleveland is worth 20. So he looks at them and he's like, okay, boy, they got some talent. I can put them over the hump. Then I can get some talent over here because I'm LeBron, and obviously superstars can bring talent.
Guys will
So
come.
you go there with Kyrie. You bring them to the talent. You have the number one pick. Now you're in a slip where you're doing exactly what you did in Miami.
It is. It's the same
so
thing.
so to me, I'm not going to be hearing the best when you're doing that kind of stuff. I'm not. How many? Kobe Bryant has 1 MVP, right? He only has one MVP. Wow. Look how amazing he is. But he went and him and Shaq almost did the same thing. Everyone was running there to steal a ring. Malone, Peyton, everybody was running over there trying to steal them a ring.
Didn't work, huh?
Well, some of the finals, yeah, but you know how it is. But I'm not gonna. LeBron's another time. We should do a whole show.
That was the one team that I forgot about was that Detroit Pistons team that didn't really have a superstar, but they had a bunch of solid role players.
Dallas, yeah.
I forgot about that. The Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace team that was very good. 05 or 04.
That was close.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
That's when they beat the Spurs.
If Atlanta stayed the way they were, they would have.
They beat the Spurs or
the Lakers.
They beat the Lakers that year.
Atlanta, if they kept their core pieces, they were close to becoming that kind.
Last year's Atlanta.
If they kept if they built on they had a good point guard.
They lost was DeMarre.
Yeah, but they're just not the same character.
I think Atlanta had.
They might have been the closest thing.
Atlanta has that same stigma that the Raptors have, where they're a good team, but they don't in the playoffs. They're second tier. That's why they wanted to blow up the team this year.
Well, if they lose
all right, we got way off topic, but we're gonna finish up with this. It was a good one. OKC and Golden State. Getting back to it, you guys both have the Warriors.
Yeah, I think the Warriors still win. I'm taking it in 7. I think they'll.
What a storyline that would be though if OKC were to win and maybe give Cleveland an easier shot to win the title if they had OKC.
I don't think that would the way that OKC is playing, and if they are able to pass the Warriors, their biggest issue was never talent level. It was the fourth quarter crumbling, and the way that they would play the down, when the game mattered. They got over that. No one's denying that they have a huge amount of talent. And again, to me, it would be the two superstars against LeBron and his again. I don't call Kyrie Irving a superstar. I don't think Kevin Love's a superstar. It would be who would match up there. And again, I don't think it'd be an easy task for either way for Cleveland. Even if they are playing at a high level, it would be close games. They wouldn't blow out any of those teams. I think it would be close games either way. Would I take them over OKC the way they're playing? Yeah. Would I take them over Golden State? Slightly. Again, I think it would depend on how Steph is, but I still think the way that playoff basketball is going now, you got to take Cleveland. I don't think it would be a cakewalk against OKC though. I don't think it'd be a cakewalk.
Hopefully this doesn't lead to me going off, but I'm just saying Kyrie to me is a superstar because he was the sophomore All-Star MVP, then he was the All-Star MVP the very next year, right? Of the All-Star
game. I don't take any credit.
No, but I'm saying just
guys jack up 40 shots and those things.
I'm just saying the way his game elevated, and then when you're playing against other superstars and you're third year,
he's a top 5 point guard.
Kyrie, I don't consider a superstar because he's had a great playoffs and he's becoming the team's primary scorer. But he had a lot of they were we all forget in the middle of the season they were talking about that Kyrie couldn't play with LeBron and Kyrie wanted out and Kyrie's been playing well as of late.
There's also that LeBron wanted out.
Yeah, and who knows? He's gonna go hop on that. If he wins the championship and then he takes off, you're gonna be pissed.
Who?
If LeBron wins the championship and then he leaves to go somewhere else.
You know what? I think that's the only way you can go. The only way you can go is if he says, "Here, Cleveland, I won you a title,
and now I'm gonna go to the Lakers."
No, then honestly, I don't even think if you're Cleveland, you can't be mad at him. You can't be mad at him if he wins you a title.
The Cleveland teams are terrible everywhere. They won't be mad at him
because I don't like LeBron. So everything he does that's dumb, I'm rooting for it, and I actually hope he leaves. He'll just destroy.
It's a sin.
He'll destroy his whatever legacy.
So what? He has to stay there for the rest of his career.
I'll put it.
You stay on the team. You build something with an organization with your team. You're supposed to be winners going into it. Obviously, contracts and little things can happen where you get traded. But why would
he's
you
not getting traded?
I'll use a Toronto thing because again we've had our share of pretty bad teams over the years. The Raptors win 5 NBA championships. They wouldn't get half the press that if the Leafs were to win one.
I agree.
Because depending on where you are, and depending on how the city.
In Toronto or
No. The Raptors win 5. Again, I see the Raptors. Everyone's on the Raptors bandwagon, and so. But here it wouldn't even compare to the Leafs breaking that streak from 67.
Yeah, but
what's the point? And in
though?
Cleveland, that's all they have is the Cavaliers. The Indians have been stuck for years. The Browns are terrible every single year.
So you're saying that's all they have because they're the only good team now?
Pretty much. Cleveland's dying for a winner. Cleveland hasn't had a winner.
Team to win. They want
but the other ones aren't
I'll
going
go party
to
with Cleveland if they win.
This
going to be a party.
This is the same kind of guys that were burning LeBron's jersey 3 years ago.
That bothers me, man. I can't believe they welcomed them back like that.
What are you going to do, though?
What is the stigma? That's not true, though.
It's a stigma.
Well, you can't be a Cleveland fan then if you're going to hate on LeBron.
I'm from Toronto, and I'm not endorsing the Raptors. I told you all the time how bad they play. If I'm from Cleveland, I don't want this guy back. I'm not going to.
Okay, you might not want him back, but what are you going to do? Not cheer for them?
I'm not cheering for them. I'm not cheering for the Raptors. I don't like the way they play. Have I
Not the way they played.
Have I not been anti-Raptors every time we're on this show?
Well,
Since
but
Vince
that's
left.
because
Since Vince left,
sorry.
Since Vince left, yeah. And again, he's pretty much like I am. Since Vince left, my decline of the Raptors started with. But even if like Vince at 40 years old, if he were to come back for
Would you welcome him back?
I'd go to his first game. I'd go to his last game. I'd pay whatever.
I tell you, just like I said on the show, I said all the time. I always say Westbrook and Cousins when Vince retires. There's no other guy in my heart but Vince until he retires.
That's what it is.
Are you mad at him?
No, for what?
For leaving.
Not at all.
So why are you mad at LeBron for leaving?
No, he left for different. LeBron was doing what? No, first of all,
that's not different reasons.
No. LeBron was. He had just.
No, Vince quit on the team.
No. LeBron was on his team wasn't that good, but they still had made the finals, and he left just to steal himself a ring. Vince went to a team that had a worse record than the Raptors, and he made their team better and beat
because
the Raptors.
nobody else would take him.
Okay,
He wasn't a free agent.
Okay, but if he left to go to the Lakers, I would have to let him go. I don't care how much I care for him. I would let him go. If he ran to the Lakers to try to get himself a ring, or he left the Raptors because of whatever, fine.
You
He
wouldn't
went to
like
a worse. I can't respect
See,
a player that does that.
here's-
Vince went to a worse team
Because he didn't have a choice. What if he had a choice and his contract was up
and he went to a
and
bad
he left?
team?
Let's say he went to the Lakers.
People-
You're right. I
Agree,
wouldn't like it,
agree.
but he didn't do that. And McGrady
Because
went
he
to
didn't have
Orlando.
a
That wasn't a
choice.
good. They were a good team, but they were like
See,
the Celtics.
it all depends on circumstances. Vince left because of poor management choices, and he started quitting on the team.
Yeah.
He didn't
Thank
go
you.
back on
I don't-
it.
thank you.
But again, it depends. Like, I'll
He
go
didn't
back to
even want
hockey.
Babcock.
When Matt Sundin left, I had those two guys were in my heart. It was Sundin and Carter. When Carter left, I'm not gonna lie, I cried. I cried as a kid. I swear to God, I cried. When I got home, I went on the TSN webpage. I'll never forget it. I'm like, Vince Carter traded to the Nets, and I teared up. And then when I saw that Jalen Rose quote about, who did we get? Did we get Richard Jefferson? And they said, and then they told me
Eric Williams.
And they got Eric Williams. Like, I think I could have got more on PlayStation. it was a great quote.
Yeah.
But for example, when Sundin turned coded, I've gotten over it because it's just the way things are done. Like, for example, in that situation, he said, "I'm a free agent. I want to win with the team, but I want to be there the whole season. I will not accept a trade. So because I want to be there the whole season, respecting."
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, this guy's screwing us because at the end of the day, we can get a first round draft pick, we can get some pieces for him and help the rebuild. So what does he do? He sits out half the next year, decides to play with Vancouver come January and do the exact opposite of what he said, which he wouldn't do, which to me was a turncoat and a BS thing to do. Pardon my French.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and again, I've gotten over it, and I've talked to Matt a few times since that happened, and like, personally, I knew him a couple of times. I had seen him. I talked to him a few times on the whole Sportsnet thing. But to me, that was a BS move.
What did he say?
Well, at the end of the day, like, to me, I've gotten over it because again, he's retired, and
What did Sundin say when you asked him about it?
Well, when I asked, no, I never really brought it up, but I had a hatred for the man. I love the man. I had a hatred for the man. I was like, he turncoated on them, and in the first game against the Leafs, he ended up winning the game in a shootout. I was pissed as hell. Carter left because of management situations.
They didn't give him pieces.
He didn't want Babcock. He said he didn't want him. They hired him anyway, then fired him the next
Wayne
draft.
Emery, whoever I think it was Wayne Emery. No, sorry, he wanted Dr. J in there. Sorry, it was Dr. J.
Yeah,
Dr. J could not have done a worse than Babcock. There's no way. The drafting was terrible.
Better influence. If Dr. J comes to your door and says we could do something with you, we have Vince out. Listen, who's Babcock?
I've heard Rob Babcock say, "Oh, you know what? That Vince Carter trade that I made with the Raptors, and now thinking back at it, was pretty bad." Well, thank you, everybody.
I don't know what was worse, the draft pick or the trade. He wanted to trade anyways. I think the draft pick was worse than the trade.
The Charlie V thing and Joey Gray.
Araujo
was terrible. See, that's the thing. They passed on Iguodala for Araujo based on the fact they needed a center, and Araujo was a freaking bum. That guy couldn't do anything. I don't know why.
He fouled out of every NCAA game. That's a fact.
That might be.
He did not finish the game.
That might be one of the worst draft picks I've ever seen. Because again, I don't know what they saw in that guy. I don't know what anyone really saw in that guy because he didn't really
They
get
saw
much.
PEDs because he got cover steroids.
He was a stiff.
Anyways,
I saw his wife. His wife was hot.
Yeah, she was at a lot of games. How many games does Golden State win in?
Golden State's winning in 7.
6.
I want to say OKC, but the league won't allow it to happen, so I'm going to go Golden
No,
State.
not
The
league.
league won't allow it to happen.
Kiku
The league
controversy.
won't allow it to happen.
The league got LeBron to the finals when he was on that horrible Cleveland team.
That's they wanted him to. They pushed him for the best
fine.
player ever.
You're right.
And he went off.
And
I don't
he
know if the
did
league,
that.
and I don't want to say the league.
The league didn't do that for Jordan. He had to beat the Bulls. He had to beat Detroit on his own.
I give him credit there. He was a young kid doing a lot of that, man. If you look at it, like he carried that team quite a bit. And that team did not have much talent either.
Yeah.
It was probably as bad as the talent he had last year. Yeah.
No, I was saying Cleveland the first time when he got swept by the Spurs.
Yeah, but again,
Shouldn't
the
even been there.
talent level, like realistically, like he gave him 2 games playing with freaking J.R. Smith like as his second option, and J.R. like
Everybody,
he's a
I feel
decent
like,
player,
you know
like,
what,
great player.
JR, we need to give him some credit too, because this isn't the JR that was in the Denver and even the Knicks.
I've always liked him.
JR's defense he's no superstar. Let's get that
John
clear.
Starks from the Knicks.
When if J.R. Smith, getting back to context, if J.R. Smith's on the Raptors, J.R. Smith's on the Raptors, where's he in the pecking order? Better than DeMar. He's better than DeMar.
You'd be in love with
him. That right there, like, so you think that JR, that right there is another reason why you can never give DeMar DeRozan the map, because again, if you think that J.R. Smith is
he will
better
replace him. And better shots too.
No,
I guarantee.
Again, better shots.
He turned into a Nick Young, just a clown.
No, I don't. J.R. Smith doesn't
He's
have.
a really good 3-point shooter now.
Yeah, but you can't.
J.R. Smith can't be trusted, man. He's a 5th option at best.
He's a sniper. You don't have a sniper at the front line.
He's also a way better defensive player.
You know who J.R. Smith reminds me of on the Raptors? Terrence Ross.
He's a way
better than
Ross.
He's a better Terrence Ross. Well, maybe it's not.
But Terrence Ross could get better.
Could get better still,
yeah. Right? So.
I've actually, again, I hated Terrence Ross for quite a bit, but you know what? He's actually been one of the better Raptors in the playoffs.
I'll say it again.
Terrence
Ross has potential to be at least with DeMar's event. At least, if not, I think he's more talented than DeMar is.
You know, like his craft.
He's not. He hasn't. That's what I'm getting at. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about his body. He doesn't put in the work that he should be to get that next level. Anyways, we have 2 guys saying Golden State. I'm gonna follow suit, say Golden State, because as much as I have to say 7. I'm gonna say 7 because it's gonna be tough. Like I still feel like these 2 games in OKC are gonna be really tough. They're gonna struggle to get the 1 game.
I'm gonna change mine to 5. I'm saying it, guys, 5. I want that on air.
I want it
on air.
So
you're a Westbrook guy and you're taking it?
I know, but Westbrook, yeah, but he's not my guy yet.
I don't think it'll be 5. Yeah, OKC's playing way too well.
We'll revisit the NBA playoffs after the Game 4s. We'll talk to you guys then we'll do the preview show for the NBA Finals. That's gonna be really good too. All right, for Igor and Lamar, I'm Joe. We'll see you guys next week on The Lock.